I help 3 beginners make 10K with Amazon FBA because people keep saying Amazon is dead, but is it really dead? So I put my strategies to test and I work with 3 complete beginners, an in-debt temp worker, a full-time helicopter pilot, and a couple juggling work with kids. Different backgrounds, 0 experience, and the results might just shock you.
Okay, well, we need to sell this amount by, the end of the month, and then boom, it's like you're refreshing the page and you're seeing another sale and another sale. It's like
he was addicted to doing that.
I'm pretty sure it was like $30,000 day yesterday.
Mind blowing.
Thing at like a 47% gross margin.
I actually did give my notice at work in the spring. I'm quitting, and I started a lavender farm with some friends as well. So between this lavender farm and then FBA and trying to grow that.
Now this video is not about me or my skills. This is their story told exactly how it happened. Let's start with Indra and Lee. Indra is a stay-at-home mom homeschooling their kids, while Lee works in construction with long hours, unpredictable shifts, and not amazing compensation. So as you can imagine, their days were full. And they said that they had no free time. But one thing kept bothering them. Why does it feel like Amazon is delivering for everyone else except us? They saw the flashy content on social media, they saw people making hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month, and they asked themselves, why not us? And that question sent them down a spiraling rabbit hole.
The funny part is I was tired of seeing people's boxes delivered to my door, so I wanted to start delivering boxes to other people's doors.
Indra and Lee were not looking for some get-rich-quick scheme. What they were looking for was something that could work around their life as opposed to take complete control of it. So more than anything, they wanted to buy their time back, which meant time together, time at home, and time with their kids. And that right there became the reason on why they started working with us.
I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna quit work and we're gonna take that challenge.
Now let me be real with you. This type of commitment comes with a lot of pressure. And like a lot of beginners, they got excited and they tried to rush the process.
Skipping a step.
We wound up skipping a step.
Yeah, because there is a checklist that seriously follow it, because if you miss one step, that's what caused that we had to start again.
That was painful. But instead of complaining about it and ghosting like most people do, instead they got on more calls, they took more notes, they followed our checklist to a T, step by step, and they took no shortcuts. Now within the program that they joined, we host 4 to 5 group coaching calls every single week. And guess what? Indra and Lee, at least one of them was on 90% of those calls. You wanna hear something crazy? Most of the time, they weren't even asking questions. They were being a fly on the wall, just to learn from other people through the challenges that they're facing, knowing that eventually they will face it as well. And then
boom, it's like you're refreshing the page and you're seeing another sale and another sale. It's like
he was addicted to doing that.
10.2K within their first 30 days. Until this day, Indra and Lee are still watching every single sale come in.
Every day I would check and count and see okay, well, we need to sell this amount by, the end of the month.
I still laugh hearing this because she's so real for this. I remember when Eric and I were first getting started, we were refreshing our dashboards on Amazon Seller Central's app like it was Instagram. That right there is the beauty of momentum. It's honestly addicting. Not because of the money, but because for the first time in our entire lives, we finally felt like we were in control. Now let's talk about Clara. One thing I admired about Clara was she was never the type to follow a conventional path just because it was expected. She tried college, dropped out, worked a string of odd temp jobs, but she kept thinking deep down that there's got to be something better than this.
I dropped out of college after like a year and a half. I was gonna go into nursing. I wanted to do something in the medical field. I mean, I'm Filipino, so my parents kind of expected me to get into something like that. But I knew that it wasn't for me.
The one thing that she did know was that she wanted to start a business. But like most people, including Eric and I, trying to figure it out on YouTube and through Facebook groups, she got stuck. It was too much information to the point that it just felt overloaded in her mind, and what that led to was little to no clarity. And with that, the years just kept passing by. And by the time she finally launched her brand, it was 2021. But from that point on, she never looked back.
2021, so right after COVID. And then as of last year, so maybe about 2 years in, I ended up going full-time with my business. So yeah, that's what I do right now. Full-time Amazon business.
Now I will be clear here. It was not some overnight story either. Clara, funny enough, was also sitting on the idea of starting an Amazon FBA business since 2017, the same year as us. But what kept her stuck, and what keeps most people stuck, is what I like to call paralysis by analysis. Too much advice, way too many strategies, and not enough structure. All Clara needed was somebody to just hold her hand just a little bit so that she can be guided to make better decisions faster, so that she can have the confidence to move forward with a product, to develop the launch strategy that fits that product. She needed the environment to be able to ask the questions and get the resources that she needed in order to take that next step in her business. And one thing I admire about Clara is the fact that she put herself in an environment where she was always a student. She knew that she didn't know anything. She was selfless in the questions that she asked. And that right there is what led her to success. But when she did launch, the real challenge was staying grounded. Because even with solid momentum, the ups and the downs, they never stopped.
So if you start there knowing that it's gonna happen anyway, then you're prepared to, find a solution.
And that mindset is what carried her. Being resourceful, knowing when to figure things out by herself or when to ask for help. But more importantly, relating back to her why and understanding her vision. And that was family for her. Her goal in starting this business was never to get rich. She started this to retire her parents. In fact, she even bought them a brand new car the other year. It was to show up for her nieces and her nephews. And it was to build something that truly lasts.
Honestly, if I didn't have the reason of wanting to help out my family and my parents and making their retirement as best as possible, then when the ebbs and flows do come, then it's you feel like there's no point in doing it.
And clearly there was a point, because the more that she stayed consistent, the more things clicked for her. From just getting her feet off the ground to doing $30,000 in a single day and to doing over $1 million in revenue in a single month.
I'm pretty sure it was $30,000 day yesterday at a 47% gross margin.
What I love about Clara the most is that she never ever tried to outsmart the process. She didn't waste time chasing shiny tactics or shortcuts. She stayed focused, she asked the right questions, and she did the work even though most of that work was not glamorous. She kept showing up every single day, and that is all that it takes. Now Ester's story starts in the air, quite literally.
Right now, I'm a air medical helicopter pilot in Colorado. So I've been flying helicopters for 14 years.
7 days on, 14-hour shifts, nighttime flights, and a schedule that left little room, at least for what most people would say, outside of work. And honestly, even with a job that impressive, she asked herself this one question: what happens when I can't do this anymore? Those nighttime flights were getting harder, the long hours were catching up, and her future, transparently, it felt uncertain.
The night shifts are getting kind of harrowing the older I get, and so I didn't know how much more I have that in me to do, so I kind of wanted a little bit of an escape plan.
She didn't want to wait for burnout. What she wanted to do was build a safety net before she even needed one. So that right there is what led her to Amazon. Not for quick money, but to explore something that she could run on her own time from anywhere. Now, one thing that she told me that really resonates with me to this day is that she didn't treat it like a side hustle. She treated it like a business, because that's exactly what it is. And that's where most people get confused. She used her off weeks to do product research, to learn how to better negotiate for better pricing, and to build out her entire launch strategy all by herself. And she was doing this all by still flying full-time on those crazy shifts. And when her first product took off, that was the sign. She took a breath, she looked at the numbers, and
I actually did give my notice at work in the spring. I'm quitting, and I started a lavender farm with some friends as well.
It wasn't impulsive, it was intentional. And she didn't want to escape her job. What she wanted to do was design a life that felt like hers again. And of course, it wasn't a perfect flight. Her first supplier failed inspection, the negotiations stressed her out. There were literal weeks where she felt lost, completely lost. But through it all, she kept showing up, no matter what.
And I had this mindset, if my product failed, that's okay. You guys always talked about that. You were really open about how you had products that failed, the things that, issues with importing and all those things that were roadblocks, but you still kind of kept going at it. And I think that that's just the best advice. That really stuck with me, is also hearing the things that didn't work, not just the things that did.
Not just the wins, but how she handled the turbulence. What she did and what we try to instill in all of our students, quite frankly, ironically, is that she treated setbacks as a part of the journey, as opportunities to learn. And what did she do? She kept going. She kept going until she was strong. Look, guys, no one builds something great alone. Behind every single success story that you just heard, there was a support system. People to bounce ideas off of, people to ask dumb questions to, people who actually wanted to see them win. That is the part that nobody talks about. It's not just about finding the right product or the right strategy. It's about finding the right people to build with. So if you're on this journey, don't do it in a vacuum. Find a circle that keeps you sharp, one that keeps you moving. And if you want to check ours out, I'll leave the link in the description. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.